There goes nothing. And you see how clean that oil is? There's like no miles on it. I just tried it out here in my shop, so in my property here, drove it around. Well, welcome back to 90% Man. Today, we're going to be working on my Tahoe. It has that Dodge D44 in it, and we're going to be working on its CAD system. Not computer aided drafting, no, it's central axle disconnect. So it's unique to Dodge as far as I know. So what they did, instead of putting manual locking hubs, which have been awesome, the longer shaft on the passenger side, they cut that into two pieces. So now there's an inner shaft and an outer shaft. And that spot where it's cut, one of them has a hole, one of them has a tiny little shaft that, you know, fit in each other so that they align, and they both have some splines on them. And then there's this collar that moves over that spline, those splines. And if you move the collar over the passenger side, they are disconnected. You move the collar over as far as it can, and it actually connects both those, and then you get four-wheel drive to both wheels. And it's a vacuum actuated deal. And that's in a Dodge. So in this case, since I brought it in a Chevy Tahoe, I don't have all that vacuum system and everything in here, so you know, there's no point in doing it, because aftermarket makes a cable pull, just a mechanical cable on it. Got to feed it up through your firewall and find a place to bolt it down, and then you can pull on the cable and it will engage two axles together, move the sleeve, and it uses a shift fork. It uses a fork, it slides it back and forth like this. And then if you push it back in, it slides it off of the inner axle, and then you don't have four-wheel drive anymore. And in my case, when I was testing it here in the shop, yeah, it was working just fine with it, you know, no load or anything on it. When I, you know, just take it out and drive it around, it would engage just fine, and then I could feel it disengage, but I guess it's got like 1/8 of an inch it's catching somewhere. So I have an idea how to adjust it. The instructions were really vague, but let's get onto the truck and show you what I'm talking about. All right, well, here we are. Actually, hold on. You move the camera a little out of the way. I'll hit it with my head. Okay, so this is the CAD system right here. You can see it's a whole, actually the tubes are slid into here and here, so it's a big cavity. And first things first, this is the vent line, so we're gonna just get that out of the way. And mostly this is a D44. Most of them have a seal right here, so there's, you know, no oil in there. Well, this thing is actually seals over here. So when you fill that out, it's full of oil. And so you can see oil just continue to ooze out of here. I've already drained that. I have a cover that's got a drain plug on it, and I highly recommend that. But you can see, here's the cable, and it comes in here, and then there's a shift fork on a hard piece in here. And that shift fork will slide back and forth this way. And it actually slides into here, and they got a sensor here that tells you whether you're engaged or not in four-wheel drive, or it's off. I'm not using that gauge. It's just one more wire to get messed up. And then I also think that there might be other issues with that too. So when I do open this up, there's going to be all kinds of oil coming out of here. And interesting, these are all like plumbing fittings, you know. everything you see here. You use standard old plumbing tools if you want. And so yeah, you can see this got a little ball on there, and when it pushes on that ball, it'll make the electrical connection, and ta-da, right? And I'm not using that. So what I need to do, I need to take, so for this shaft here to get disengaged, when I push this in, it's going to push this fork that direction. It's not going far enough. And you can see I have a lot of thread right here, so I need to take this cable, and my theory is, you know, screw it in farther, right? That should, because this is a fixed length and the cable is a fixed length, right? So it should push it farther that way and then disconnect. When I take this off, but the only way to do that is I'd have to either take the whole cable. No, I'd have to actually, I gotta take this off. There's no other way to do this. And, you know, it's not fun because it's nothing but oil coming out of here. And this gasket, I mean, I've done this a few times. This gasket's in pretty rough shape too. Gosh, I'll have to replace it. But yeah, this unit, not very expensive. I think it was like $65. It's a good way to use the Dodge axle. That's what I thought. You can see the oil starting to come out. There it goes. These are just like quarter 20 nuts. Nothing special with those. Make this a little bit quicker. A little quicker. Here goes nothing. And you see how clean that oil is? There's like no miles on it. I just tried it out here in my shop, so in my property here, drove it around. Okay. You can see the collar in my fork, and it's still really engaged here. Oh man, and it's stuck too. So it's, even though it seems like the cable went in, did I lose something on the cable? The thing is, the cable appears to go all the way across. So it has me confused. So I have to get a jack, get the load off this tire, and then once I get that, I should be able to slide that over. Now, the other question is, maybe this fork needs to be flipped around the other way. That was the other thing, you know, pictures, and they were black and white and grainy, and they'd been copied a million times. If you look at where that fork is, that's where it should be. That's where the fork is, so it should be lined up. See that? It doesn't make any sense that it's over there. So A lot of this just seems to be slack. Yeah, see, it shouldn't be able to be right here, even though I've got it pushed all the way in. Well, let's see what happens when I mess with this. Oil everywhere. Let's see. Oh yeah, I remember that one didn't. That was kind of a weird setup. Do a thing here. Yeah, there's some slack in this thing. I think that's half my problem. There's a reason why I'm putting this back on, and you'll figure it out in just a second. That. What happens when I screw that in? Well, so I think I gotta do is go upstairs and see if there's a way to adjust it from up there to get that slack out of the cable, because I think it's the slack in the cable that's causing it to misbehave. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. No, there's no adjustment up at the top part where the cable comes into the cab. I did get a jack and put it under here. Oh. And we found a snake, little guy, little garden snake. This is in the back of the shop, so rescued him, put him out in the field where he belongs, and go eat bugs. But if you look at this collar, you can see how it's lined up with this hole here. If you look at this thing, it's lined up with these holes, and it's pushed all the way in. Oh wait. There's not as much slide, so I think screwing it in is going to do it. And then this wheel is loose, so now it's not bound up. If you look at it right there, yeah, see the collar move? So it really didn't have very far to go. It was, so it doesn't actually have to be all the way over on these holes to open up, even though I'm really close to that. And then that would free it up, so you can go all the way over there. And then when you want it to walk, there's a little pressure on it, and bam, oh, there it is. Now it's locked to the other side, and that's a, I got a locker in there, full time. This is an experiment, by the way. I didn't want to spend $1,500 on a really nice air locker or electric locker, so I bought one of those Lockrite blockers to go inside the factory carrier. So essentially this thing will be 3-wheel drive, but when this color's on, it'll be 4-wheel drive, but all locked up and you can't steer. So that's kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, so I really only need to be over here. So let's just, this adjustment is really all I got. And by screwing that in, that pretty much right here, that's where the actual end of the cable is coming in. So I'm gonna actually give this a few more turns because I'm tired of taking this thing apart, putting it back together. I'm getting old, really old. If I push it up there hard enough, that just really takes the slack out of it. Oh yeah, see now it's just got a little wiggle, so I'm thinking that's the hot ticket right there. Okay, let's put this bad boy back together. And this is just a cardboard and paper gasket. I mean, it's still pretty good. There's nothing under pressure here either. So I'll move my tray all the way over there. I can't get to it. So we're going to put it on there. Get that guy started. Get that guy started. Very good. Grease off me. So, I know the little CAD thing, not that exciting, but it is what it is. I'm sure I'm tired of it not working. Because believe me, to get in here, it was hard. I couldn't steer, didn't want to turn, didn't want to do nothing with both tires turned the same rate. So the inner tire had to skid, and these tires are like, no, I'm not going to skid. So it fought me the whole way. Okay, that guy's on. Yeah, something else I gotta mess with. Do a better job of this hose here, but that seems to be working for now. By the way, all that oil is going to go right back into this thing. The cool thing is the drain plug has a magnet in it, so I don't have an issue with that. See, all the metal debris, there's a little bit in there. ring gear, brand new. Ring and pinion, it's gotta break in. I have dog hair like on everything in here. And Oxygen, for those of you who have seen her, the little brown border collie, she has moved out. Daughter moved out today, actually. You'll be seeing her, but not as much. I lost my shop dog. And yes, I'll miss her, but excited to see my daughter be able to move out and move on and start her life. It's all good. Okay. Well, you can see the tire move. Let me go upstairs and pull the cable. Alright, that's locked. Make sure the tire won't spin. And push it in. Pull it out. Now it's locked. And push it in. Spins. So let's hope that just keeps working. You saw it on camera. Tighten this nut. Why not? You see everything's kind of, threads are weird on this. They're big. They're like pipe threads. Everything's kind of crooked. Weird. Nice machine threads and stuff. You don't see that. All right. So that's your education for today on CAD. And as you can see, it can be a pain in the butt, but it gives me options to have 3-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive on the fly. Without, once the transfer case is in, I can just unlock this wheel, do a lot of good steering, and then if I get in a tough spot, pull the cable out, lock this wheel, and I got all 4 tires pulling all at the same time. All right, well, got out from under there, and I gotta put some oil on the diff, and you can't see it, but right here it says Yukon. That's from Yukon Gear. Now, I didn't get my gears from them, but I did buy this cover, and I got no issues with Yukon, just not where I bought them from. There's so many people out there selling them, and I like to support people in my state, my locale. So I bought it from a place in California, West Coast Differential. Actually, they're just a little bit off Sacramento, east of Sacramento, I guess. So we're gonna put this oil back in there, but it's nice. It's got a drain plug right here. This is like the standard fill, and this is like if you want to overfill it. And because of that, This thing goes all the way down this tube. A lot of oil. I'm kind of in the overfilling mode. Yeah, this takes a while. Let me tell you, this is one of the difficult parts of life unless you have yourself a really nice electric or pneumatic or something. Then you're styling, but I try not to do this that much, so I stick with the old manual pump here. This pump is called manual, his name, because it is manual. And my right arm is getting tired, but I'm also squeezing my fingers in my right hand too, so it's not just all shoulder. Kind of grab my finger in my left hand. There we go. Get a system going. It's going down pretty quick. Probably about halfway there right now. Oh, look at that. The tube came off. Of course. You know, there's no way that I know of, there is, I'd like to hear it, to do this without your hands getting oil in them. I mean, seriously, there's just no way. Let me go get a towel. Yep. No way. Crazy. Put the roll of tape right there. There we go. Gives me a nice pool. And now I'm just going to sit and do the double-handed. Laying down on one side and that just words out one side. I'm sore all the time, so I'm just gonna do it this way here. So, if you think my life's exciting on some of this stuff, this is the background stuff I got to do in order to get out and go do my backcountry exploring, or just getting out to my camping and my hiking spot, you know, because I like to get out. I want to get away from people and into nature. And if you go where everybody else can drive, well, you're going to go with everybody else. But if you got a vehicle that can go places where most people can't go, well, then there you go. You can have some peace. And we did a campsite out in Mexico, and we were way an hour and a half into the forest. It was a paved road, but still, most people were doing that as a day trip. And we said, nope, we're in a camp, nice campground. There was a couple other people, but it was quiet. Nobody partying. At night it was so quiet you could hear the blood flowing through your ears. Yeah, a little bit of metal on the bottom though. Be expecting the brand spanking new gears. Alright. So it's all the oil I could put in is in there. Let's see. Dry finger. Wet finger, so you tell me. I would call that full. Important enough, right? Ah, see this? That's the old vent tube from the independent front suspension. Because the diff used to be mounted right here in the frame. Used to be. Not no more. So, if you have a four-wheel drive Jeep or something, and you're gonna take it out, get you, even this Tahoe, they got them for just the rear too. And you drag it on a rock in the rear, it just pulls it right open and drains it all out of there, and then, you know, and you can prevent all that. What is this oil from? That's still, oh man. Got a bad seal. Joy. Wonder what that was. So this will all be coming out again. Because I got a bad seal. Must have boogered it up putting it together. Happens. But I won't have to set it up again. You just pull it out, replace the seal, put it back exactly the way you took it out. Same shims. You know, do a backlash check, but other than that, you know, it's gonna go in. It's gonna be just fine. So it's not that hard. It's just work. So I guess now it's just time to go out, try out this shifter adjustment. Ugh. Let me get the camera here. Ugh. It's on magnetic mount, that's why it's so violent. Now, if you wonder what this big pad is, I think it's recycled tires, and you can get it at Tractor Supply, and it's pure rubber, and that thing has been covered gear oil, motor oil, brake fluid, power steering fluid, radiator fluid. I mean, it's dry. It's that rubber, it doesn't soak anything up. You can just get some brake clear on there, wipe it off, and it just looks just like that again. It looks like the day I bought it. So they weigh about 100 pounds. I suggest you only get one, because I had two, because I got a leaky Jeep. There's no such thing as a CJ that doesn't leak, at least not that I'm aware of. And so I keep it under there. Try to keep the floor from getting too messed up. But yeah, Tractor Supply. And these are actually made for horse stalls that have concrete, so the horses don't have to stand in the concrete. They stand on this thing. And so yeah, it's made to, you know, for hundreds of pounds per hoof loading on it, and it won't break up, and drive on it, whatever you want to do. So anyways, I'm gonna go test drive, and we're gonna let you know how this thing does. I'm gonna say a prayer, man, because I've not had good luck with it. We'll be back in a second. Well, it's nice to have some success. Yeah, that adjusting it in like I did, that just worked great. It was able to shift in that collar and get that collar out. I did it about 4 times. I did it on a side hill, I did it downhill, uphill. I did it, you know, all while it was turned, and well, it just slips that thing in and out like better than a electric locker or even an ARB. I mean, it was just really slick. So now I'm kind of excited to see how it does four-wheeling, because like I said, it'll be three-wheel drive. When I put it in four-wheel drive, it'll only be three-wheel drive. It'll be the two rears, because I got a Detroit locker in the rear, and the driver's side front. And then when I pull that cable, it'll then lock the passenger side when I want the lockers on full. And as soon as I'm done, push it in, and of course it'll steer and do all that just fine once I put it in. It steers when it's up, but not, you know, like any locker, it steers like, and still very good. But found something new. Let me show you. See that leak right there? Oh, did you just see that trip? That trip go down there? Yeah, that's that new power steering gear I just put in. Guess where it's leaking from? The same bolt off the top of the sector shaft cap that the one I just traded in was leaking from. Now I don't know what to do. This is weird. This is just weird. So, you know, I'll take success when I get it, because at least what I tried to do today worked. And what I did the other day, but it's not me. I don't know what it is. So I think I'm gonna try to get a rebuild kit for that, and just maybe replace the gasket. But that's what custom's all about. Solving problems. I got a power steering gear working off of a pump that's not meant for it. Maybe the pressure's too high on the pump. I don't know. It seems kind of ridiculous. I'm gonna phone a friend. Of course, I already know his opinion is. He's gonna say, every aftermarket rebuilt power steering gear he's ever worked with, my experience too, is a pile of, you know what it is. You know, it's just unfortunate. So I may go down a different path to get this thing solved. So, but today, at least I can shift that thing in and out, work just beautifully, which means I can then try to move on with the next thing to get this sucker on the trail, which right now what it needs is new gears in the back. I did the front, I haven't done the rear yet. It needs front drive shaft, I haven't put that in, and I have to modify the crossover pipe for the exhaust to get that to fully function at full drop. Otherwise it clears if it's just sitting here on the ground. And it looks like I'm going to have to pull this front end apart again and put some new seals in there, and I'll probably do all that when I start to do the rear, because I have a little scissor lift over here, and that's some work to set that up. Once scissors lift on, then it's real easy to just start tearing this thing apart, and really ergonomical. I'm not working on the ground like I was today and the other day. So anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe learned something. You know, like stay away from Dodge CAD. I don't know, but it's working good. So when I start wheeling it, we're gonna know. Is the cheap locker that you can actually turn on or off with the cable pull, is that really a plus or a minus? Because people do it electronically, they're doing it with air. And this one has nothing to do with the differential. It's just connecting the axle and disconnecting the axle. So let's see, let's give it a shot. I didn't have any problems with it in my 3/4 ton Dodge with big Cummins motor and manual transmission and stuff. I had that for 17 years. Since it was vacuum, I had a bad vacuum leak after, gosh, 15 years, you know. Always goes bad. That's pretty reliable to me. So anyways, that's it for today. And thanks for watching, and I'm out of here. Bye.